The Church of Saints Paolo and Barnaba, better known in Milan simply as the Church of San Barnaba, is located in Via San Barnaba, a little over a block or so from the Church of Santa Maria della Pace, Our Lady of the Peace, which is where one finds the cloisters of San Barnaba from the early 1500s. Since the early 1900s, these have been in the property of the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem. They are also the home of Il Chiostro di Andrea, the restaurant in the cloister of the statues, where I was going for dinner. I was seated at the same table where I'd been the year before, with a great view over the entire courtyard with both magnolias. And naturally, I again went for the four-course selection of sgagnini, which is what Chef Andrea Alfieri calls all of the dishes on his menu. The wine waiter brought me a glass of Nove Pinot Nero Spumante from La Costaiola in the Oltrepo Pavese to start off. Moments later, he was back with the plate of 4 assaggi, or tastes, before the menu got underway. Let me take you through them. In the front, a mini sandwich with raw salmon marinated in mandarin gel with escarole. At the back, a focaccia with goat cheese and cherry tomato confit. To the right of it, a corn chip with a mousse of grana riserva and balsamico ristretto. And at the front, on the right, a classic Milanese mondighillo meatball with what was called old-fashioned mustard, flavored here with orange. Taste number 1 was a large circle of raw beef chunks. On the surface were several generous dollops of foie gras, along with wedges of nectarine infused with tea. The white bits weren't yogurt or meringue, if that's what you were guessing, but almond milk. A far cry from your familiar beef tartare, and I'd happily encounter this mixture on another occasion. While I was still enjoying this, the white wine for the first primo arrived. A verdicchio called Ste from the Santa Barbara winery in the Marche, owned by Stefano Antonucci. Recalling fabulous risottos on my 2 earlier dinners here, I was delighted when the waiter set down a plate with another risotto creation. This one was made with fennel in a confit of sambuca, to which citrus-marinated scallops had been added, with olive and caper powder sprinkled around the perimeter. On top, there was a wreath of baby chard leaves. Already enough to make me very, very happy, yet I knew there was still much more to come. The head waiter surprised me with an extra primo on the house. Black spaghetti made from a single wheat variety coated in onion ash, snuggling up to each other in a hazelnut cream with alpine meadow butter, seeing to it that all of the ingredients felt comfortable with each other. The Maître Matteo also brought out a wine which wasn't on the open wine list, a cuvée of Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc from Radicon in Noslavie in Friuli, Venezia Giulia. He said it was a natural wine, but knowing my skepticism about natural wines, which he shares, added that it was outstanding. So it was. Not so much orange as a deep amber, and the rare natural wine where I would actually have enjoyed having a second glass. The normal order of the chef's selections continued with the third primo. Now that's wish fulfillment on my part. 3 different primi back to back. Super fluffy gnocchi made from purple potatoes, alongside what was described as venison roast beef in a ristretto of horseradish-flavored blueberries. I can't add more to that description. Although I don't make predictions about the future, I know I'm not going to eat a meal with risotto, spaghetti, and gnocchi in sequence ever again. At least, not like these. For both the gnocchi and the course to follow, the wine waiter brought me a Marche Rosso, made from Montepulciano, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Like the Verdicchio before, also from Stefano Antonucci's Santa Barbara winery northwest of Jesi in the province of Ancona. Previous menus at Il Chiostro di Andrea had featured fish. Tonight was more meat-focused. We concluded the sgagnini with veal cheeks boiled in spices, with a few pickled vegetables and a salsa tonata around the veal, and 2 fried quail eggs on top. Milan knows how to celebrate veal, one of my favorite meats, and I loved the play on the vitello tonato flavors, with the spoonfuls of tuna sauce around the juicy chunks of meat instead of being spread over thin slices. It was time for dessert, and yes, I still had room, if just barely. Enjoyment and relaxation and fabulous food and service in gorgeous environs stimulate my appetite. I went for the mixed berries with a gratin of zabaione flavored with passito for something suitably light. 3 slices of meringue stood sentinel, and over the berries and zabaione we had a dusting of red fruit powder. The wine waiter called it a challenge to find an appropriate accompaniment for the dessert, but he was determined to meet it. After a minute's rumination, he returned with a glass of Amarot, a bitter based on Chinotto made in Torino, which must be Italy's capital of bitters. According to the makers, the most noticeable flavors are Chinotto, the bitter orange from the myrtle-leaved orange tree Citrus myrtifolia, plus vanilla, cardamom, licorice, and cocoa. The wine waiter's choice was spot on. It was so good, I saved most of it to savor after I'd finished the dessert. Yet another memorable dinner at Il Chiostro di Andrea. I'm already looking forward to my next visit.